Well, welcome to our first workshop, Understanding Social Media for Civic Engagement. I'm Dr. Price, and I do a lot of work with small businesses in developing and promoting their business. And most of my business is done, all of my leads, through social media. I do very little outside advertising. A lot of it is crowdsourcing and getting support from people who have used my services. I'm also very involved in a number of civic initiatives and community service organizations, including Rotary, an organization called Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. I foster animals with 2 animal rescues, as well as work with the American Businesswomen's Association and others. If you haven't already connected with me, go ahead and scan the QR code here so that you can get my information. So when you take your phone and you hold it up to the QR code, it's going to populate in an app called Kadoo on your phone. With my information, you'll click Save or Exchange Contact and Download, and then you'll have all of my contact information available to you. Everyone good? So let's start with an introduction to what is social media. What is social media? Yeah, speak up. You can raise your hand. I want this to be interactive, so.
Like a lot of platforms we can use for our business projects, for self and there's also like opportunities also.
Yeah, so there's opportunities available to you on social media. There's a variety of different platforms. And the idea is engaging with other people in a digital sense, primarily using smartphones. Little fun fact, more people in the world have smartphones than toothbrushes. So this is a powerful tool that you can utilize in networking and creating communication and working with other individuals, either personally or professionally, as well as advancing your goals from a civic engagement arena and getting people engaged in your causes. How have you personally experienced the impact of social media on civic engagement? This is for you to answer.
For example, fundraising.
Fundraising, yes, that's a great example, and I have some examples of those today.
Да, кстати, недавно появилась такая мысль, что Сулейман уже собирали деньги, 1,5 миллиарда. Был мальчик, он болел, и посредством Инстаграма мы собрали все.
Long ago, it was a boy who was sick. They needed money for medical assistance, and using the Instagram, we collected funds.
Awesome. Using Instagram to collect funds for medical illnesses, for sure. So what made these initiatives successful in the examples that you gave? Why were they successful?
We can widely spread the call for collecting, for example, money.
Yes, so you have a wider swath, and your message can be shared through your connections and their connections and their connections. So you're not just operating within your sphere of influence, you're utilizing a larger network. Why else does social media work? Why else does social media work? What makes it successful?
impact of a lot of people, like not just one.
Yes, a greater collective impact. I also mentioned that people have their phones. Lots of people have phones, and most people have their phones with them 24 hours a day. Who sleeps with their phone at their bedside? A lot of people. It's not good for your sleep, but it's good for our cause if you're trying to reach people. The second piece of success is that you're able to identify through your connections their pain points, which we'll talk about more, and make an emotional appeal. It's not like someone knocking on your door and saying, please give me money. You are able to engage with them and make that emotional appeal on their phone. So social media platforms can be used to engage in a diverse communities and engage them in creating and taking action. And this is an example here of a post. This is one of my previous foster dogs, Gus, who was last call at the shelter and was scheduled to be killed. He was in a situation that he got in a fight with another dog that no one had attended, and he was the one who got in trouble. And he was adopted, and the person who adopted him last call returned him less than a week later because they decided they were getting a puppy. This was a sweet, sweet dog. So I rescued him alongside of one of my rescue organizations, and we put out a plea for help for Gus. I put out a plea because this was supposed to be a short-term stay at my home, and I wanted to find him a permanent home. So this is the post, and we have some great pictures there. Do those pictures and that story evoke a story for you, a sense of a meaning?
Yes.
Yeah, especially if you're an animal lover, right? So you're inclined to share Gus's message so he can find a home. So this post, the day it was posted, within 5 hours, had 369 comments and over 2,200 shares. That's a huge reach. That's more than I could do, and more people than I have connection with. So we can evaluate here. We've touched on the effectiveness of this because the story of Gus resonated, and I was able to find Gus a home within 2.5 weeks. He was rescued, and it was a very happy story. So how can social media platforms be used to engage diverse communities in action? This is one example. Do you have any causes that you advocate for?
I have a project. It's like a women's space where we are caring for mental and physical health and emotional intellect. And like this project was born after I was blogging about 2 years about the conscious parenting and also about like the mental issues. So what I'm broadcasting in my channels, it's the importance of women's potential and reveal this potential and also implement this potential in development of society.
That's a great cause. So working with the cause of women and addressing mental health and their responsibilities and their importance in our communities. You have a wide range, but your target audience, 50% of the world is women. So you have a huge opportunity to make an impact and create dialogue and action. And one of the best ways to do that is by sharing stories, having stories that impact people emotionally tug on their heartstrings or things that they can relate to in their real life. So when Cynthia at our first visit today, when we went to Wilkes Development, she said, "I'm sorry I was late today.
Yeah.
I had issues with my teenager." I have 2 teenagers still at home, so I could relate, right? And you're nodding your head, you could relate as well. So having that relatability helps you connect with the people through the screen. Are there any ethical considerations that you would take into account when using social media for engagement?
About sensitive things and like what is it about all the talking about gender equality,
Sensitive themes, gender equality, transparency is also really important. So the purpose or the intent behind your civic engagement efforts on social media. If you are being supported by an organization that might have certain priorities in mind, specifically when we're talking about political parties who are supporting you, if they're donating money to your cause, being transparent about any kind of funding or potential conflicts of interest, because you want to stay trustworthy and credible with your audience. Privacy protection, respecting individuals' privacy rights. So I think of the example of the women, and we'll meet with some individuals who are in a transitional home tomorrow, the leader of that, and they have to be very careful with their social media because these women we have to be respectful of their privacy. They have been incarcerated in jail and they're coming back into the community. Maybe they don't want people to know. So having that sense of privacy and communicating with the people that you want to share their stories to make sure they're on board. Being authentic and having integrity, making sure that your content is accurate, reliable, fact-checked. Because if your information turns out to be false, your credibility is out the window and you've lost your supporters. You mentioned inclusivity from a gender perspective and diversity, and prioritizing inclusivity and diversity in your messaging is important. So if you have, for example, when I'm posting things and if I use a stock photo, I want to make sure it reflects my target audience and a mix of my target audience for my business is primarily women. So I would want to have a mix of different ethnicities. And one of my businesses is fitness. So inclusivity from a fitness perspective is not everyone is buff, right? There might be people in the photos that are pregnant. I work with older women. I work with people who are struggling with obesity. And I want my messaging to attract all of those, not just the physically fit athlete, if that makes sense. And we also want to maintain civility and respect. This happens a lot with dog posts. Sometimes people get outraged. So I mentioned this particular dog was in an altercation with another dog, and I don't need to go through the circumstances of that, but they left a guest dog that he didn't know in a room with this dog, and they left. And the dog was small and something happened and that dog became deceased, sadly. There was some outrage from individuals because while we weren't hiding the fact that this other dog had been killed, we didn't put in every post, this dog got in a fight and this is why he ended up at the shelter. But when we had applicants, we did disclose the information that he had an altercation, and the individual that I placed him with, who adopted him, I made it very clear to her, that he was to be the only dog and that he had gotten into this fight and not to leave him, as you shouldn't leave any dog unattended with a dog they don't know, right? So there were some people that got very ugly on some of the posts attacking the rescue for protecting this dog because they felt that we were not sharing all of the information. All right, so when you're selecting your social media platforms, there's a lot to choose from. It's important to know the demographics and user behavior on each platform so you can decide which ones are going to work for your business. Who is your customer or your end user, and where are they spending your time? I'll use Pinterest as an example because Pinterest is very popular in the United States with women. If your target audience is a male, that is probably not where you want to spend your time. Bill, are you on Pinterest?
Not on anything.
So, if you're trying to reach Bill, social media might not be the right platform for you because he's not on anything.
But my wife will get it and she'll pass it on if it's a question.
Currently, these are the top 10 social media tools in the United States and worldwide. Depending on which list or research that you find, yes, please take photos of any of the videos, any of the slides. You can take short videos and post those on social as well. Depending on the research that you read, the list might vary in terms of the order slightly because everyone's research is a little bit different, but this is the basic list. I pulled up what is the primary social media in Tajikistan, since that is what would probably be most of interest to you. Is anyone operating a worldwide business? Not yet, right?
Yeah.
Not yet. So worldwide, you could look at some of the other tools, but today we're focusing on Facebook and Instagram because that's where most of your users are in your home country. As of October 2022, Facebook had 2.93 billion monthly active users. It's the third most visited website in the world. It mentions Messenger on here also. Messenger is one of the primary mechanisms that I communicate with potential clients who are interacting with my Facebook page. Instagram, 69.1% of global Instagram users are under the age of 35. It's the #1 social platform to follow or research brands and products, as well as to post and share videos or photos. If your target audience is B2B, meaning business to business, your end user is a business. For example, I am a fitness instructor, and sometimes at my company, we sell employee wellness programs to other organizations, business to business. 50%, 52% of those marketers used Instagram in the last year. So it's also good for B2B. So let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages of these particular platforms really quickly. Facebook has a wide reach, a large and diverse user base, making it effective for reaching that broad audience. Facebook groups and events provide you a platform for organizing and mobilizing your community around specific causes or events. So for example, our Rotary Club, we have our 100 Who Care event tomorrow. We created a Facebook event for that to advertise. Multimedia support. It supports a variety of content, text, images, videos, live streams to allow you to utilize a bunch of different things into your campaign. And you can have targeted advertising. So their tools allow you to precisely target If I have an ad, for example, for the rescue, I might target someone who loves animals. I might identify, because we are in Parker County, I might specify someone in the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. I might specify someone who has children or a certain level of income so that I can reach my end user better. Disadvantages. The algorithm, if you've worked in Facebook at any given time, you'll know that the algorithm changes constantly. And essentially this impacts your organic reach and makes it challenging for you to make sure your message gets seen. Privacy concerns. Sadly, Facebook has been criticized several times for data breaches, so that's a concern. Echo chambers. So the algorithm, the way it works is if you like something and you're engaging with something, you see more of it. And because I do a lot of rescue work and I have 9 dogs at my house that I'm constantly posting about, and I share a lot of rescue posts, if you scroll through my Facebook, you're going to see last call dog, dog that's going to die today, last call dog, rescue this dog needs a transport, lots and lots of dogs. I could scroll through and all I see is puppy dogs. I've ruined my algorithm, right? Here's a dog. There's a friend of mine who did a quilt, a house. Oh, there's Rotary Club, another dog. A house, I've been looking, another dog. Like every other post is a dog. And so you have to be careful, because when you are trying to expand your reach, the algorithm aligns content with the user's existing beliefs and interests. So it reinforces and limits exposure to your message. Declining youth engagement. A lot of the younger crowds don't really use Facebook. When I look at my kids' Facebook, all the stuff on there is stuff that I tag them in. Maybe they'll use it to message people in Messenger, but they're not really posting anything. So if you have a younger audience, Facebook is not for you. Instagram. Visual storytelling. If you like to do photos and videos, this is a great place for you. It allows through good, compelling storytelling for your cause, evoking those emotions that we talked about and improving awareness. They have interactive features, the likes, the comments, the direct messages to build connection with your users. Influencer partnerships are a great thing, and I am an influencer. I get sponsored for a number of different fitness products that they want me to review or try. I sometimes advocate for nutrition products. I also advocate often for and create partnerships with nonprofits and post about them on Instagram. And it enables you to amplify your campaign message by selecting that partnership. Does everyone know what I'm talking about? When you're doing the post, you select partnership and you can tag that organization and they can repost and it will appear on their page. And then they have the Explore page in Instagram that allows you to find people that have similar interests. So that's a great way for you to get word out about your organization. Algorithm changes are also a challenge for Instagram. You have limited linking options. This is one of the things that I dislike the most about Instagram, is that it makes it challenging to post links because they don't have the clickable links. That potentially hinders the effectiveness of campaigns with calls to action. That's why we're going to talk about a link tree. Lack of shareability, so that you can't share within the app. I use a free app outside of Instagram called Repost to share content, but it's an extra step and it takes a little bit longer. And its focus on aesthetics and visual appeal could prioritize style over substance. So to get people to stop the scroll, really regardless of whether you're using Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, is visually appealing graphics and photos. So what are some of the, are there any advantages or disadvantages that we didn't discuss of using social media for civic initiatives versus traditional methods? What do you think? So one of the challenges would be information overload. There's a ton of social media content. And so when you're trying to get somebody's attention for your cause, listen to me, right? You have to figure out how you're going to stop the scroll, how they're going to stop and read what you have to say. We already talked about those echo chambers of how the algorithm gives you more of things that you're engaging with. So it dilutes the diversity in your feed. You have to watch for misinformation, disinformation. The rapid spread of misinformation can undermine your efforts to raise awareness about your cause. And people have short attention spans. So it's hard to convey complex messages. If you're going to have a story that's super long, many paragraphs, they're not going to read it. You have to post more concise stories or break up stories and interaction into more digestible bites. So tell part of the story and then pick up on another post with more, kind of like a teaser. And Cynthia alluded to that when we were at the district today about their opening, and they're working towards that opening, and it's a period of months. They have to keep posting things to keep people wanting to know more. So one of the challenges or how we can address those is with that compelling storytelling. Figure out how you are going to engage with your user to create emotional content that captures their attention and drives them to take action. Targeted messaging, you can use targeted messaging and audience segmentation to reach your target audience. Make sure your information is correct and use visual and interactive content. Infographics, videos, polls to convey information and engage in lots of different ways. So key strategies for your engagement. Building an online community, creating that engaging content, utilizing hashtags and trends in your posts, and leveraging influencers and partnerships. So we already saw use of one of these today, the Kadoo. This is a great tool because it enables you to share your connection with other people very easily. It's the same one we had at the very beginning, but that's the app. How many of you use a personal Facebook page? 3? How many use a business-like page? So depending on what your goals are in your organization, your cause, you might use a variety of different methods. This is an example of one of my businesses like pages, Healthy Fit, where people can follow, they like your page and then you'll show up in their feed. And then for your personal page, you have to approve those followers or friends, and there's a limit. Regardless of what social media you use, Facebook, Instagram, any others, that one of the most important steps is to complete your profile. If your profile is not complete, people are going to lose interest because there's not a lot of information. Most importantly are the header and the profile picture. This is my header on my business page, and it outlines some of my programs. Fill in all of the details. This is an example on the health and wellness. And I've used a Linktree. Linktree is a free tool. You'll see the Linktree link on there. linktr.ee. That will enable you to put multiple hyperlinks in one website address and change them as needed. So when you're setting up your social media, you use your Linktree email or your Linktree website address. And then if you have new content you want to push, or an article that you wrote or something, you add it to the Linktree. You don't have to go back to all your social media and change all of your website addresses. Make sense? In Facebook, you should create at least 2 featured collections so people can get a feel for you and your brand. In terms of social media for your cause, there are 10 benefits of using the social media that we're going to fly through here. The first is speed of communication. Connect to clients and prospective clients where they are. We already said people are on their phones like all day long. So let's connect with them there. This enables you to respond quickly to establish rapport and connection and improve your close ratio. If you're not selling anything, your close ratio is taking action, whether it's signing up for an event, whether it's committing to advocate for your cause, whether it's donating to your fundraiser. One of the ways that I do this with Messenger, you use for your page, your business page, you use Meta Business Suite to create an automated messaging so that if you're away from your phone or you're logged out of that profile, they at least get a response. You would go to your page, your Meta Business Suite for the page, and then you go down to the little message symbol, and then you would click on automations. This is a homework assignment. So if you want to take a photo of this slide. Oh, did you get it? Relatability is important to humanize your brand. So one of the things, one of my target customers for my business are moms. So I utilize examples. These are my real boys. This is not a stock photo in our kitchen making something. And it's calling people to check out this blog on the Blue Star Family's website, which featured a recipe for something that we are making in that picture. Number 2, promoting content. You can use social media to promote workshops, products, services, create a store on Facebook or Instagram. Here is an example. I offer yoga therapy as part of my business, and I provided information with these photos. Again, I try not to use, even if I'm doing, this is more of a sales type piece, but I try not to use stock photos. I try to use myself or my clients because it's more relatable to other people. Managing customer relationships. So our first step was to create that link tree. The second step is to create a QR code monkey that ties to the link tree. And QR code monkey looks like this. You take your link tree with at least 2 links, and then you use that website address to go on to QR code monkey to use this QR code that can be used on all your media, your brochures, your business card. You can post it on social media. You'll notice my QR code here for Price Consulting Group has branded colors. So you can change the colors, and I've uploaded my logo. All free. Another homework assignment. Another benefit of social media for your cause is to manage customer relationships. We can use it to interact with our customers, ask them for comments, likes, ask them to bookmark or save your content, ask them for reviews. So In Instagram, I highlight customers or clients in my stories. In Facebook, I ask clients for reviews. And if you like this workshop today and you're getting value out of it, I would encourage you to leave me a review. I'd really appreciate it. And you can also ask people for Google business reviews. And so when people are searching you on Google, they see those reviews for credibility. Lead generation, whether it's having repeat individuals to advocate or go to your fundraisers or selling something, you can create invites or FAQ answers in this free app called Boards. And that way you're not typing the same message over and over and over. So if someone reaches out about your women's advocacy group and you have a typical thing that you tell them about what you are and what you do, you type that up in Boards, and then you open that board and you hit, and it can populate it in a text message, in a messenger, in a website. It's just like another keyboard on your computer. So it's like quick keys. This would be another place that you could create your hashtag list of hashtags that you use over and over again for media, so you're not typing everything in, because we want to save time. Networking, we want to add social media connections from networking events. One of the best things that I do usually at events is I get up and I take my photo with my group. Or if I'm at a networking event, like we'll be going out tonight, I take selfies with people and I have them send it to themselves from my phone so that I have their phone number. I ask them to connect with me right then on social media, so we have that relationship. And then the important part of that is not just leaving it there, but reaching out before the next event to connect again. You can also establish yourself as a SME, a subject matter expert. This is where you can use social media to share articles, educate, ask questions, answer questions, go live about specific topics, post in groups, as well as participate in LinkedIn discussions. So when I'm sharing about the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, which is a genetic disease, cystic fibrosis, I might share articles about current research that they're doing and stories about people who have CF to educate individuals, because how many people in this room have ever heard of CF? No, but one person, right? So all of the rest of you, if I want you to donate money to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, I need to tell you what they're going to do with the money. Why is it important? And I need to share that information. So I'm constantly sharing articles and things. And this also helps improve your engagement. Visibility. So this is our marketing rule, the 4-1-1. It breaks down your content into 3 different categories: relevant content, reshared content, and promotional content. We want to use branding in our posting and hashtags. Some hashtags I use every post, some vary based on the topic that I'm posting about. Remind people to connect with you on other platforms and use Reels. So Reels now are those short videos. You can use those on Facebook and cross-post them on Instagram. And then if you have a YouTube channel, you can house them there as well. And that helps you because then in future, you can just share that link to that YouTube video. You don't have to hunt for the video. It's an easy way to catalog like a library. So some things that you want to post are in terms of theme, because you're not just always, if you're running a nonprofit or working for one, you don't always want to say, send me money, right? Because then people are going to like delete you off their phone, or they're going to not read any of your posts. So we want to post other things. That's the 4-1-1. Only 1 out of every 6 posts should be the ask for something. So Four of the posts could be things like national holidays, tips, behind the scenes, trending topics, industry news, testimonials. Use a cross posting to save time on that. So we want to post informational, like one fun post and then one sales post. So 1 out of every 6 posts is that ask. Anytime you post on social media, you don't own that platform. You don't own your followers. Someone could hack you. I know someone. Oh, sorry. I get excited about social media. You don't own your followers. Anything could happen at any time. Maybe Mark Zuckerberg decides he wants to charge for a Facebook platform. Maybe you wake up and someone has hacked and stolen your account. And that happened to a friend of mine and she never got it back and she had to start over. If you don't have a database of the people that you're connecting with in social media somewhere else, it's a problem. You own your email distribution list or your list. So I encourage you to get people using social media to sign up for like your newsletter to be able to get that information. Drive them out of social media so they're not distracted by the other things and send them to your website or your blog. Send them to your product store. Provide them information about your services and use those links as well in the link tree. Encourage them and ask them to subscribe to your newsletter or blog for updates. So if you're a blogger, are you putting a paragraph teaser on your social media for when you make a post in your blog? And that then you would say like, to read the rest of the story, click on this link to go to my full blog, right? And then you send them to the blog so that you drive that subscription. Customer interaction and user-generated content. This is a great way to improve engagement. Share clients or people using your services and products or organization. Encourage them to post and use your hashtag, just like I encourage you to post today and share about Rotary Club of Aledo. Tag us in the post. You can also share and tag Price Consulting Group, right? I gave you that ask. I planted the seed so that hopefully at least one of you will post, right? Customer success stories and testimonials. People really value those in social media, and it helps expand your reach and helps you close the sale and establish relationships. This is an example from one of my businesses, one of my brands. This is one of my clients who won her pageant crown. And she worked with me and there was a bunch of information. She thanked me in her post and I shared it on my page. It's important to make a plan or plan to fail. So this is in Meta Business Suite. When you have a business like page, you can go out in there and pre-plan your posts, right? And it will have holidays on there already built in. And you could see over here, I have some posts scheduled on this particular day, on this particular week, but you can also use one of their templates to create a post if you're not sure what to post. So with Meta Business Suite, again, this is for business pages. You can post to Facebook and Instagram or up to 3 groups, all in one setup on here. So it saves time with a maximum of 10 photos. So this is another assignment to go back to Meta Business Suite if you have a business page and schedule a page using a post using it so that you can see how easy it is to use. You can also create graphics in Canva too, and we have a branding session this afternoon. I encourage you to create a brand kit, either for your personal brand or the cause that you're working on. Like Rotary, Bill is an example of the Rotary brand. On his shirt, he has the Rotary blue and yellow from the logo, which carries into the wording on the shirt. And anything Rotary is going to have the wheel and the branding colors. So you can actually get those in Canva. When you upload the wheel, it will tell you what colors those are. You don't even have to think about it. You just click on the wheel and it will show you this is the color, and you can create a branding kit for your business colors. You can also choose a text. If you have a logo that has a name in it and you use a certain font, use that same font in your branding. Upload your logos and create hyperlinks in your graphics. One of the biggest time savers is linking those Facebook and Instagram. If your Instagram is a professional account, you have access to the insights, which is very helpful if you're trying to close sales or drive a cause or create action, because you can see how many people have seen your posts, how many people bookmarked it, etc. A personal Facebook account has to have an admin role on the professional account to link it. So you can also check in Facebook from your professional page under settings and linked accounts to see if the admin is set up in there. So some assignments, again, to reiterate, we want to plan and create content for your social media for the next week. 411. 4 relevant, and we gave you examples of different ideas of what you could post as relevant posts. 1 repost, that's a share from somebody else, like an article somebody wrote. And 1 promotional, that's your call to action or your sale. That's the buy me, or like give me money, right? And then create 1 short video that you can share across platforms. If you have a business account, the last assignment would be using Meta Business Suite to post concurrently to Facebook and Instagram. Yes.
I have one question. Is Meta Business Suite is free?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Meta Business Suite is free. The advertising, if you opt for any targeted advertising, that's of cost. What questions do you have?